Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to the channel. Peace, love, and positivity to you. My name is Sohum, and today I'll be reacting to more Van Morrison. We're going to be checking out the songs Sweet Thing, In the Garden, and lastly, So Quiet Here. Now, for context, this is my second time on the channel now reacting to Van Morrison. If you're new here, I highly encourage you guys to check out my first time reaction to Van Morrison. The too long didn't watch of it all is basically this. I came away with it feeling like a better person. His music, it is so spiritual, it is nourishing, it is heartwarming, it is gentle, it is expressive. It is so many more things that I can list in this moment, but I'm super excited to check this out because I can't think of other artists that really compare to Van in the way that he holistically is. There's certain elements that I feel, okay, I can like draw references here and there, but Van kind of stands in his own lane, which for me is super fun because I love an artist who, the moment you hear them, they just are their own sound. The best way to characterize Van Morrison is to just say, hey, it's Van Morrison, if you know what I mean. So I'm excited to check this out today, but before we do, a huge thanks goes to Sean the Humble for making this generous request. Now, let's get into it. I feel like I'm in the woods right now.
Jump the hedges first, and I will drink the clear, clean water for to quench my thirst. And I'll show out the ferry boats and they'll get high on up the ocean against tomorrow's sky.
A lot of cool textures going on right here.
And I will never grow so old again. And I will walk and talk in gardens all wet with rain. Oh, oh. Sweet thing, sweet thing.
This is such an interesting mix. Van's voice here is rather quiet relative to the other instruments here. Even this like upright bass, for all intents and purposes, feels like some of the main is where some of the main melody is coming from, just because his voice is turned down relative to like how normal music would level their vocals.
Sweet thing.
Like the instruments are louder than his voice. Oh.
I shall drive my chariot down.
Alright, never mind.
It's beyond dynamite and I don't know why. And you shall take me strongly in your arms again. And I will remember that I ever felt the pain.
And the sharpness in the flute too. Those are the two highest elements. His voice and the flute.
And I will never grow so old again. not just to dig it all, not to wonder, that's just right. And I'll be satisfied not to read in between the lines. And I will walk and talk in gardens all wet with rain. And I will never, ever, ever, ever grow so old again.
The strings and the flute sort of in unison.
Sweet pain.
This is such a different, like, arrangement for a song.
Sugar baby.
I really don't even know how to, like, characterize this.
Sugar baby, sugar baby, sugar baby.
It's very, like, folk.
What is champagne I had?
Yeah. I don't know how to describe this, like, style of song because there's so many elements that just set it apart. Like, the first thing I noticed was how quiet his voice was relative to everything else, but in certain moments his voice would surge through and you would hear it more clearly and definitively. And then as other musical elements kind of entered this mix, we could hear, like, his timbre being matched by the flute, in moments matched by the strings. But all the while, like, the majority of the instruments we heard, especially earlier on, were extremely earthy. It's one of the reasons why I said, like, I felt like we were kind of in the woods because of how bellowy and, like, established the mids and lows in this track were. It's interesting, and I feel like it is different from what I heard in my first Van Morrison reaction. And I like the meaning of this song, right? Appreciate all the sweet things in your life, savoring those moments, whatever they look like. Look forward to the positive things. Lead with overwhelming kindness. Be the sweet thing yourself. These are all the lyrics, or the kind of lyrics I might expect from Van now, because he seems like an extremely spiritual, kind, and grounded person, and it seems like often his lyrics speak on these subjects. So it's a good way to start off. And interestingly, I was thinking of one of the Dave Matthews Band songs, Sweet Thing. I think it's And Sweet Thing. I have to look quickly. Matthews. Okay, the song is just called Sweet, but I know that he mentions Sweet Thing a lot. Let's jump into In the Garden. Hear the difference in production. Whoa, I like the string textures in this. You hear the pattern in the acoustic just getting repeated.
The field are always wet with rain. After a summer shower.
That's an interesting.
When I saw you stand there.
See, his voice is different now here.
Standing in the garden.
An interesting tone.
In the garden. Wet with rain. You wipe the teardrops from your eyes in sorrow. Yeah, we watched the petals fall down to the ground. Yeah, and as I sat beside you, I felt the great sadness that day in the garden. And then one day you came back home.
I think this is my
creature
preference for Van's voice in this range.
You had the key to your soul, and you did open that day you came back garden.
It's so soothing. This feels like he's embellished his song with all of the spiritual and emotional fervor you need
summer
to.
breeze was blowing against your face.
Yeah.
All right. The light of gold was shining on your countenance.
Nice.
Yeah, you were a violet color as you sat beside your father and your mother in the garden. The summer breeze was blowing on your face.
I love his descriptions of nature.
Within your violet you treasure your summery words.
Oh,
Yeah, that the shiver from my neck down to my spine ignited me in daylight and nature.
ignited in delight.
And you went into a trance. A childlike vision became so fine. And we heard the bells within the church. We
Wow.
loved so much and felt the presence of the youth of eternal summers
Oh,
in the garden. All right. And as it touched your cheeks so lightly, born again you were and blushed.
intimate now,
And we
right?
touched each other.
It's like he's reaching out to you.
And we felt the presence of the Christ within our hearts. In the garden. And I turned to you.
It's like
and I
this
said,
profound experience in the garden he's had,
Guru, no method,
connecting with God through nature.
no teacher, just you and I and nature. And the Father in the garden. Listen, oh Guru, no method, no teacher, just you and I and nature. In the Father and the Son and the Holy Ghost in the garden with rain.
Wow. I love the connection that he has. He expresses it so earnestly.
No teacher, just you and I and nature. Yeah, the Father and the Son and the Holy Ghost in the garden. In the garden, wet with rain.
Wow. It's stripped all the way down now. Oh, it's even more powerful.
No guru, no method,
Huh.
no teacher. Just you and I, nature. And the
Oh,
Father
that gave me chills.
in the garden.
Oh, is it the fade out? I was almost expecting in that moment for like the song to start swelling again with his louder vocals, but I like the place that it ended. Again, this song to me felt more of what I heard in the first triple reaction I gave to Van Morrison. He's so connected with himself, in this case with nature, and through nature connected to God. And also it feels like in these songs he's searching for all of the portals that exist in life that helps him transcend his own experience rather than viewing things through a sort of matter-of-fact lens. He looks for the deeper meaning in what may feel more banal. It's almost like the childlike wonder one might have when you first experience life and you're learning about new things, experiencing what life has to offer, and being appreciative without really even knowing it every step of the way. And slowly but surely with adulthood, we start to lose more and more of that childlike wonder. And maybe it's my ego, but I'm desperately holding on to as much of my childlike wonder as I can. And, in the form of music, I talk about it all day and every day. It's one of my true loves and passions, but there's more to be appreciative of. There's more to have that childlike wonder about. Just engaging in the world with some level of curiosity, I think, is a very important thing to do. I'm not a neuroscientist, so just take everything I'm saying here with a grain of salt, but I truly believe that curiosity must activate some portion of the brain that is slowly atrophying in the bulk of the population. And the problem is when we lose curiosity, we lose our ability to do things that are novel outside of the paradigm that we exist within. Imagine like AI, for example. AI, all it's doing is just rewriting and repackaging what we've already created. And if we're now only learning off of AI derivative works, we've all of a sudden pigeonholed the entirety of human thought. Why would we ever do this? We should be continuously curious, try to understand the mechanisms of life, view the things that we don't understand as challenges, as things that inspire awe rather than deter us. Because now we live in this kind of like convenience culture where we want everything handed to us on a silver platter. And it makes sense, but it also has an unintended consequence of dulling the mind. If your mind is a sword, the edges slowly but surely start to erode because we're not employing our wonder and our discipline towards learning about things that we wonder about. And this is I think my preference for Van Morrison's sound. Let's check out the last one.
Foghorns blowing in the night, salty air in the morning breeze, driving cars all along the coastline. This must be what it's all about.
I like this melody already.
This must be what paradise is like. It's so quiet in here, so peaceful.
This must be what paradise is like. So quiet in here.
So peaceful in here.
Yeah, just peace, right? The search for peace.
Warm look of radiance on your
Stillness.
and your heart beating close to mine. There's the evening fading and the candle glow. This must be what it's all about. Oh, this must be what it's all about. This must be.
And I think I referenced it.
Paradise.
I think I referenced it in my previous Van Morrison reaction, but some of his delivery reminds me a lot of Bruce Springsteen. Not completely, definitely not in terms of the grit that Bruce will often employ, but certainly in his more intimate moments where he's like talking directly with the audience in this speechy but also sing-songy cadence. It's a bit of a hybrid. I was drawn to Bruce Springsteen for that reason. It also shows up here with Van.
This must be what paradise is like. It's so quiet in here, so peaceful in here, so quiet in here.
Yeah, just eternal tranquility. That's what we all want, right?
Oh, my circling in the woods.
Mitigate the entropy and the turmoil in our days.
Have so many dreams that don't come true. Step back, put it all away. It don't matter anymore. Oh, this must be what paradise is like. This must be what paradise is like. It's so quiet in here. So
and it's such an interesting, like, main
so
melody. Because it quiets in the chorus, where choruses normally are louder, right? Oh, this is so pretty. This is my favorite song. I think each of these songs has gotten better and better.
With some wine, with some friends, talking to the wheels of the dawn. Stretch back and relax your mind. This must be what it's all about. This must be what paradise is like. Oh, this must be what paradise is like. It's so quiet in here. It's so peaceful in here.
Wow, man.
It's so quiet in here. So peaceful in here. Big ships out in the night. Yeah, we're floating across the waves.
I like this song so much.
Sailing for some other shore where we can be what we wanna be. Whoa, this must be what paradise is like. Yeah, this must be what paradise is like, baby. It's so quiet in here.
Wow, because he keeps, like, bringing up the intensity in that pre-chorus. Like, it's gotten
So quiet in
louder
here.
and louder and louder,
Peaceful in
but he
here.
always brings it back down. So the song grows in intensity, but not using the same tools we normally would.
Peaceful,
Really smart.
quiet in here. It's so quiet in here. So peaceful in here. So quiet in here. So quiet in here. So quiet. It's so quiet in here. It's so peaceful. So peaceful in here. So quiet. So quiet. You can hear. So quiet. So
Yeah. I'm liking Van a lot. I like that his music, it is unassuming, but it still packs a punch. I mean, it is very spiritually and emotionally heavy, but not in like an overbearing kind of a way, in a very, I think, congruent way that makes it accessible to wider audiences. That being said, like, these kind of songs, they aren't radio hits by any by any means, just because the radio has very different preferences for what they're going to put on there. These kind of songs, though, they feel almost like hymns, but they have very different structures to what you may hear in church, for example. There's a lot of really, like, lovely qualities to these songs. It shows up easily in the lyrics. It shows up very plainly in his vocal delivery because he is so measured, and a lot of these moments really relaxed, as if he's speaking to you. You can hear the breath flow coming from Van. And then when he gets more intense, you listen because he's doing it for a very intentional reason. And then he withdraws it again. And that control of his voice, control of his dynamics, in a way is almost analogous to the way in which we're able to control our own emotions within our lives. We can control our connection to the divine. We can control our connection to ourselves. And, I say that with a little asterisk because 100% control I don't think is a realistic assumption we can ever make. But we can do more to connect to ourselves, to the world outside of ourselves. Now, if you do meditative practices, what you can do is search within to learn about the external, and then whatever stimuli comes your way, you're able to engage with it because you can see God within yourself. Therefore, you can see God within everybody else. And actually, sometimes I bring this up, but the meaning of my name, Sohum, is actually a very spiritual one. It means you and I are one. We are all depictions of God. We all represent each other. When I see you, I see myself. When you see me, you see yourself. Because of this universality, we are connected. What is good for me is good for you. What is good for you is good for all of us. I feel like so often, and it makes sense, right? We have different beliefs, we have different cultures. There's individualistic cultures, there's collectivist cultures, there's a whole range of things, up, down, left, right. I'm not going to preach by any means. I don't think there's any definitive answer to all of this, but what I always appreciate is when we can come together in our love, in our appreciation, in whatever positivity that we can. I think that's the direction that we all ought to move towards, because there's always so much negativity out there in the world, and it is one of the main reasons I preach peace, love, positivity, because I feel like that is a message that does not get shared enough. It's easy to internalize all the negative things, but it's harder to look at everything, look at the brighter side. It's easy to rest on our laurels and be passive about loving ourselves, for example. It's the harder thing to do, to love yourself. And the thing is, when you do it more and more, it becomes easier, and it becomes a raising of your own floor. Your vibrations pick up in a very physical, practical kind of a way. And people's connection to God, to their spirituality, it looks different for everybody. And I think everybody should explore their own mind, their own beliefs individually, and figure out where they land, because it is a very personal connection. I often push back on this idea that you have to be mass indoctrinated and follow a certain text and follow a certain belief system X, Y, and Z. I just look at everything very, from a perspective of myself and of one, and I want the best for everybody, and I'm going to present the information in the way that I can, that is hopefully can move the needle in a positive direction. And Van is doing the exact same thing in his own way, probably better than I ever could through his art, because he is communicating all of those very spiritual ideas through song, transcending just the lexicon, but through his emotional delivery too. He's connected to God, it's very clear, and he shares that warmth and connection, and the glow that he has through his music can certainly be felt. This is another fun one today. I think in terms of preferences for these songs, I would have to go in reverse order, my favorite being So Quiet in Here all the way back to Sweet Thing. Let me know what your thoughts are in the comment section down below. And if you'd like to request more Van Morrison on the channel, you can do so by clicking the first link in the description box below. But as always, my friends, have a wonderful rest of your day. Take care and peace.